Today we're going to be talking about intercultural communication in the media and my current event. So today more than ever we can see how different cultures are being portrayed in the media. Some movies and TV shows actually have little to no white actors or actresses being showed at all in their movies, which is great because before we used to not want to hire minorities and used to just pretend like white people were black or different races. And this thankfully is becoming more mainstream as more companies are joining this trend to show inclusivity to cultures besides showing just the majority. And we can see this with the films shown like Disney, Moana, and Coco, along with movies Bend It Like Beckham and Crazy Rich Asians, and the TV show Blackish. So my article, it's called "Looking at the Importance of Representation in the Media." And in the article, the author describes how important it is for everyone to be represented because even as a child, you want and need to be validated for the things you do and the way you look. It's easy for white people to feel like they fit in based on the media because it's fully represented. Minorities like Asians, African Americans, and Hispanics have a harder time feeling like they fit in due to the lack of representation in the media. And a question that the author asked that really stood out to me was when she asked, when did you first see yourself portrayed in a movie, book, or TV show? And for me, being a white girl, I've always grown up with it. There has never been a moment when I have felt like I wasn't being portrayed well or even at all. And it wasn't until middle school for me when I realized that other people don't feel the same way as me and they aren't being portrayed in anything. So they have nothing to look up to. And it was something that I actually enjoyed when I was little, comparing myself to princesses or the girls who I wanted to be in the movies. So it was crazy to me to learn that other cultures and people, other girls and people don't really have that same experience. So another article that I wanted to touch on, which talks about the show Blackish. So Blackish is a TV show that was created in 2014, and the main character, Dre Johnson, starts questioning his race and what it has to do with his success. Being a successful black man, he lives in a upper class neighborhood with majority white people, and the way his kids start to act, he describes it as not being blackish. He wants a black family, not a blackish family. And so the whole series just follows along the trials of what they have and all the problems. So in an episode called Juneteenth, they focused on the use of the N-word, police brutality, and colorism. The writer of the episode mentioned how hard it was for him to write, especially with the situations that don't get talked about a lot in the medias. A quote that I also added on the slide that I liked from the article and episode compares white privilege with the problems that black people face. They aren't discrediting the problems we have, but essentially saying that the problems we have are the problems that others dream about having. This is beneficial for those represented in the series, but also for those who might not know the struggles that others have every day. So with the quote, it compares white people and black people's problems as in money. So white people's problems is we have so much money that we can't fit it in our pockets, but minorities and how black people have problems is they don't have money at all. So they can't fill their pockets at all. So it's two different problems, but two very different sides of the spectrum. So the two discussion questions that I have is the first one, what other platforms can we use to display different cultures? I was trying to think of other big ways to show different cultures besides with TV and movies, but I feel like, especially in today's world, that's the best and easiest method of getting these different cultures out and having other people experience and learn about different cultures. I feel like on a smaller scale, though, we see this every day with holidays being celebrated in school and just talking about on social media and everything. So the second question was there a moment where you felt misrepresented in the media due to your culture? For me, it's kind of hard to relate it, but being white and blonde, there are a lot of stereotypes that are being portrayed of me in movies that I don't necessarily think represent me as a person, which that's a very small way to look at it, because I have essentially nothing. At least I'm being portrayed in these movies and TV shows. But for other like minority groups, I could only imagine how hard it is for them to finally get a chance to be represented in the media, and then for it to be taken a completely different way, and now the public thinks of your culture a certain way. With these stereotypes, it's hard for the public to believe which portrayal is true of their culture. And so that was my presentation